Hey friends, so in a previous video, I had spoken about AI reasoning models, what they are, how they can help you. And it actually occurred to me that with so many AI models on the market and literally so many of them appearing what feels like every other day, the landscape is pretty confusing for the general user, or should I say non-technical user, on what model was useful for them based on tasks. Now, if you've seen previous videos, I speak a lot about in the workplace, how really looking at assessing the tasks that we do to understand where AI could help or could hinder. So in this video, I'm going to talk about, based upon generic tasks that people might do, which AI model is best for you. So you can see this on the screen here. I've broken down, we're just going to call these the tasks, and we'll break each of these down step by step. And then the recommendation based upon the tasks you do, which model is going to be most useful for you. And then I've got some, not say recommendations, but models that are available. Of course, more models from companies are available than this, but these are just some of the biggest ones that you can use. So let's dive into this and let's talk about, first of all, tasks, and then we'll talk about the kind of models you can use for those tasks as well. Before we do that, it's really clear to understand what are some of the models that are available today. So previous video where I've spoken about this, you have your GPTs. So GPT means generative pre-trained. A lot of the models you're already using today in Claude, in Gemini, in Copilot, in ChatGPT. So think 4.0, think base models on these where they're multimodal. So you can create pictures, you can get text, you can create videos, all of that good stuff. They are what we call generative pre-trained models. And what they are really great for is stuff like this. So writing, editing, summarizing information. If you want to ask straightforward questions, so what is the weather in this country today? Straightforward answer you can get from a tool, and helping people to generate content at speed. Not always accuracy. I think we should definitely point it out. It's really good for kind of speedy support there. So if you're working on those type of tasks, what are pretty common, pretty repeatable, then using a generative pre-trained model, like the standard ones you get for free, as I said, from OpenAI with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, pick whatever AI weapon that you want to use it for those tasks. That's where it's really, really useful. So creativity and helping you with those kind of outputs. Now, the second model that we spoke about were reasoning models, which you've potentially heard more of over the last few weeks, last few months on company. And in the previous video, I kind of spoke about what reasoning models are and what they do. So instead of doing that again, I'm going to point you to that video if you're more in depth in that. But actually, what these tools are really great for is if you have tasks that sit in this realm. So when we look at strategic problem solving, when we look at going through huge data sets to help you find key insights that are relevant for your context. And if you're a software engineer, I have many friends that are, they love it for working with code, debugging code as an example. And you can also use it to review AI generated responses elsewhere to essentially fact check and look for sources online. So reasoning models are really great for that. They're also great because they don't just give you the output in the what, they also show you how they got to that output and why they got to that output as well. And that's in the whole name of reasoning. So what they help you do is look at this chain of thought process in understanding how does your AI tool of choice take your query, and then how does it get to the output you eventually get from there. In essence, they are supposed to be, can we say, higher level in their terms of thinking to help you with these kind of problems. And you may have heard of this other term, which is not necessarily a model on its own. Also, I'm not an AI expert, so don't come firing at me in the comments if I'm not exactly right there. I'm still learning on this stuff and sharing what I'm learning there. But deep research is, I kind of look at it as a bit of a bolt-on to existing models or existing large language models, where effectively this is a bit like being given a superpower on top that then allows you to go off and do what it says on the tin, to do deep research. We can call it like a report generation system if you wanted to. So what you can do with this type of tool in deep research is If you are working in finance or science, you're doing trend analysis, really high level stuff, maybe PhD level stuff, deep research is going to be great for that. If you're doing market research, competitive analysis, really time intensive tasks, deep research is great for that. And as you can see here in my great refinement, if you're doing deep level research, then deep research tools are going to be great for you as well. And actually their responses take a lot longer. I've used deep research tools before to help me with a number of pieces of analysis, and actually they can take up to 30 minutes to give you a response because they're crawling different sources of the online world to help you get the best information and best outputs based on their capabilities. And again, you can find a lot of these deep research capabilities in all of these tools. From a reasoning model perspective, you'll find them in these tools and more, of course, and your general generative pre-trained. So in essence, if we are to sum that up, for most of the tasks that you do, you're going to be sitting in this family of generative pre-trained models. All the things you know and love with Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, ChatGPT, the base models are really going to help you as a all-rounder. So if you're just doing those kind of content generation work, straightforward questions, summarizing information, doing some writing of emails, editing some stuff, this is the best bang for your buck. If you want to get a little bit smarter, if you want some tools that are going to help you on high-level questioning, strategic things that you're working on, whatever it is, then reasoning is going to be good for that, because I believe that can help you think a little bit more critically and give a far-reaching dexterity of thought than what you will get with base models. And then, of course, if you want to get nerdier, if you're working in fields where you want to get PhD level type of content and help in that, then you can go to deep research. Now, this again is not about a either or. You can use all of these in collaboration. So as an example, you could talk to a reasoning model around a thesis that you had on a particular topic and try to get it to help you understand that from different points of view and help to find case studies or examples with that. You could then use deep research to do what it says on the tin, do some deep research about that particular topic, and then you could take all those generations and put them into a generative pre-trained tool like a ChatGPT 4.0, and then use that to structure all of that information, which is probably going to be very high level and hard for your particular audience to get that context unless they're incredibly intelligent or at the level which these tools are pushing out as information, and make it applicable for your audience and essentially helping you to turn those thoughts into actionable insights that you can use. So again, very quick example there of that, but it doesn't have to be either or. They all serve different purposes depending on what you're trying to achieve, and you can use them together. So which AI model do you need? Look at your tasks, and based on your tasks, pick your model, and then you can merge these together based on what you are trying to achieve. As always, I hope that's helpful. Any questions, thoughts, leave them in the comments, and I will speak to you in the next one.